Soup. My name is Ketsu. I am accompanied by my two other companions, the Foundation, the one and only, of course, and we are accompanied with Riggs. We're here today to talk about reviews, news, what's going on in anime today, and we will take it from there. But more of this, we're going to talk about what's going on with us, a day in the life of ourselves. And let's start with Foundation. How are you? What are you doing? What's going on? What anime you're watching? Let's dive in for a few minutes.
Okay, bring you up to speed here.
Okay.
So I watched all of the dubbed episodes of My Hero Academia.
Oh.
So
You watched all of it?
up
Well, he's
till
caught
the
up.
end of season 4. So
That
season
was
5
really
is dubbed.
fast.
I work full time, but other than that,
Watch anime full time.
yeah, among other things. So I also just got into Food Wars, which is outstanding, a little bit risque, a lot of it risque, but at the end of the day, we're adults here. Okay, it's all right.
Mm.
I've seen more risque things in other places. So yeah, it's good. I like how dramatic it is and how like every like kitchen battle is just it's dramatic and it's comedic at the same time. I've laughed out loud more than a handful of times just in the first 6 episodes, I think. So yeah, and actually it prompted me to create a rice bowl, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was good stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool. I think it's really awesome that you've dove into Food Wars. Specifically, like that show was written with professional chefs for the sake of like recipes being accurate for the writing of the show. And there's actually a website. We can post that in our Discord stream if anyone's interested for the recipes of Food Wars anime.
Or
food.
we could actually utilize the pilled groups that we made, the Toon or the Anime Junkies group. That we made.
Absolutely, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thanks for the plug. Yeah, thank you.
Which I saw that you didn't get in there yet, Katsu. So
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I'll take that personally. It's okay.
Sorry,
Let's keep
sorry.
moving on.
Sorry, I've been asleep. Riggs, how are you, man? What's going on?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. I been watching the subbed new stuff of I was reincarnated as a slime. Does not disappoint. Very good there. And then I have I've been watching Oda Cinnamon Nobunaga, and that's pretty funny. So I'm enjoying that. It's about Oda Nobunaga gets reincarnated as a dog, and he's not happy about it, but he also can't control like the canine urges of like being rubbed, his belly being rubbed, and like chasing after sticks and balls and stuff like that. And he happens upon at a dog park all these other like historical Japanese generals from eras past, and they just have these just crazy conversations of just how great they were once were, and they try to like talk about how great they are as a dog, but then their owner comes around and starts acting really cute with them, and it just totally ruins the mood. So it's just good. It's like these little 5-10 minute shorts of a show, similar to like Mob and a couple other ones I've watched. And so yeah, it was a good. It's just kind of a good slice of life. What else am I watching? I try to reduce how much I watch or how much I talk about with everyone. So I think maybe that's just what I'll go with for now.
Sure, yeah, man.
Oh, I did check out. I'll be excited to maybe do the review. Maybe we don't do the review, but just discuss it anyways. But I talked to Ketsu about it. How I watched the new Monster Hunter movie on Netflix.
That's right. I still have yet to watch that, and I was actually going to watch that probably tonight or tomorrow in my free time. So
yeah, it's a short flick. As I said to Ketsu, I was a little surprised. I was really surprised that it's 58 minutes. So it's a short little movie. That's as I was saying, it would have been better off as like a series, and that just being like a couple of episodes of the series.
Right. I remember you mentioning, or just even 20, 30 minutes longer, and it could have
that would have
really
been
driven
perfect.
more plot. So it kind of gives me a preconceived notion as to like what to expect. Makes me scared, but I guess I'll watch it and then we can discuss that on a later day. But
I mean, let's be real. We all didn't like the A-list, the excitable A-lister anyways. So, I mean,
awful, god awful. It's already like one thing I'm not excited about.
58 minutes of him, I guess, is probably fine.
I was hoping that he wasn't in it for all of 58 minutes, but you don't always, you can't always get what you want.
That's right. Yeah. What about you, Ketsu? What's going on in your anime world?
In my world, lately, so I've just been keeping up with Sunny Boy on Funimation. I just watched the most recent episode 5, and I got to tell you guys, I remember mentioning it last week. That show is bonkers. Just like you have no idea what's going on. It's just a strange psychological, but not like indigestible kind of journey. But the animation is really, really fun. Like I said, again, like bright colors. It's really starting to ramp up. Like the plot is really starting to like hike, and we're about to hit peak soon because I think it's going to be a limited run. I'm sure it's only going to be 12 episodes long. But things are starting to pick back up, and it's really good. Other than that, as a recommended show, I've been keeping up with My Hero Academia on the sub side, so I'm like all the way caught up on episode 107. And that most recent episode is gnarly. I'm not going to give any spoilers for the Foundation here, but that is getting real spicy and real fun. Where I felt kind of in a lull with the most recent arc of the beginning of the latest season. So that's starting to pick back up and getting really, really good amongst plot line and character development and things of the sort. And in a perfect segue, to mention one of the latest things of news that we had mentioned previously in the past that was on like anticipated things to come.
Ooh, hold on. Before we get into anything with the news, I
sure.
did want to I forgot to bring this up. If anybody was watching this, likes an anime that really tugs at the old feeling chords, you have to watch To Your Eternity. It's on Crunchyroll. It is, man, it gets you right in the feelers. Just, oh, man. This most recent episode I watched,
it's a series.
Pulling at the strings, yeah. Just pulling at the strings. I was like, oh, man, this just hits you deep.
Well, what kind of drama is this? Is it like thriller? Is it just like slice of life drama, like love drama? Like
so, it's hard to say because I discussed this a little bit back. A couple weeks ago, one of our first ones. So I'll just give you. I was trying to grab the like the home page, but just a quick synopsis. But I'll give you like episode 1. So an orb is tossed upon the earth. It transforms to match its surrounding environment. First a rock, then moss, then a dying wolf. The wolf returns to its last remaining family, a boy living alone in a small home in the snow. So he is actually, this main character, protagonist, is just like an artificial being that has the ability to evolve and grow as it experiences things in life. And so it starts as a rock, and it's just all then some moss, and then a wolf dies on the rock. So then it absorbs the energy of the wolf, becomes the wolf, and then it just starts wandering around, and then happens to wander back to the owner of the dead wolf. So the owner thinks his pet came back to him. So then he's like hanging out with the kid. And then this is all episode 1, so I don't really care to spoil it, episode 1 for you. But the boy ends up dying, and then he absorbs into the boy, and then sets off. But he's also like immortal. So, and like he takes the final form of the being that it absorbs. So of the kid had like a big gash and was bleeding out of his leg. So whenever he transforms into the kid, he always transforms into having the gash in his leg. Like, but it doesn't like hurt him. It's just like the exterior appearance of him. So like, but yeah, he like, and then he's just running into all these people all the time that are kind of going through whatever they're going through in life, and like just loss and tragedy. And now they've introduced like the main bad guys. So the being that created him, there's a party that is trying to destroy the world, and so they are now trying to like absorb. Fushi is the protagonist, ends up being its name, and so now they're like trying to destroy him by like every once in a while showing up and just causing havoc, and like just like right when you get like a real emotional part, like they come in and just start laying waste to everything. And so it's like these people are really like having a heartfelt emotional connection, and then something terrible happens and you're like, no. Like so
well, yeah,
it's
I'll certainly want to check that out. That sounds,
yeah,
I mean, that sounds like a roller coaster for sure.
it is. It's definitely just a roller coaster of just like, oh, like you start feeling for these people, and then just the worst things start happening to them, and you're like, oh no.
Oh man, oh my god. Okay, so speaking of roller coasters, before I move into that previous said segue, one other thing that I've been watching, and Riggs, you had mentioned to watch this to us, the two of us, 86. I started watching 86, and what a gnarly show.
Yeah.
It's
How far are you?
I think I'm
Like
episode
episode-wise?
4, episode
Okay.
4 or 5, and it's like, I mean, come episode 2, 3, they were like, okay, we're not messing around with like the reality or like the depth
Yeah.
of how hard this can be. Foundation, if you haven't seen an episode of that, I would recommend watching that show. It's actiony, it's enticing, it's deep, it's dystopic and futuristic.
Okay.
I think it's I'm gripped now. Like I got the hook. Like I got hooked on episode 2, and now it's like I have to like kind of follow through and see what happens from here. Because the story gets so compelling. It's
I'm on like
really,
episode 10 because I watch it dubbed, but I know it's like through 12 or 13 subbed. So,
yeah, and I'm just starting out on the sub, so I'm like I said 4 or 5, but I am it's good. It's really good. It's just also a lot. A lot. But otherwise, back to point. The last thing in the segue of news, I watched episode 1 today. It was a double episode feature for Air. Fina Pirate Princess aired on Saturday. We had mentioned that for upcoming things in anticipated lists. There we go. Zoom back in, and I watched the first episode. I think the show it shows a lot of promise. This is going to be a really good series. Developed by Adult Swim and Crunchyroll at the same time, so you can watch the subbed on Crunchyroll simultaneously. You can watch on Adult Swim for the dubbed, and you can watch that through any like cable provided network on a subscription base if you are or have access to Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. But yeah, episode 1 was really funny, just introducing you to who the main character is. There's a lot of like witty comedy written into what is obviously going to develop into a very adventurous story and plot. And it showed a lot of promise, like gave you a little bit of character development for who the main protagonist is, with a slight introduction to other characters that are obviously going to be long term. I still haven't watched the second episode, but watching the first like pilot, I thought it was very, very good, and I think is not only something that up your guys' alley, Riggs and Foundation, but I think to the general public, I think this is going to be like a mass appeal as an original works. And not to draw back on any of the original works that Crunchyroll has done, but I've never been disappointed by any of their work they've done in studio. So
Yeah, for sure. I watched the first 2 episodes sub, and yeah, it was into
it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. I still have to watch the second. I'll
I
probably
think-
watch that one tonight, but it's good.
I think one of the things that I really enjoyed, and hopefully it continues, is it has the perfect amount, I think, of comedic relief
Mm-hmm.
that comes in and keeps things fresh. So you're not getting stalled out by just kind of like if you're not really into like the plot thickening and stuff like that, like story, you're just kind of you just want the action. Like they have this comedic relationship between the two main characters, and then I think some of the sub characters that are going to have a little bit of comedy too, and it's just I think it's going to have just enough comedic relief to kind of keep you refreshed as you're watching it. So it doesn't fully take you out of what's currently happening in the situation, but also kind of doesn't just keep you in that zone all the time. It kind of waves you up and down. So
Right.
which I really like. I walked away going like, man, I think is going to have the perfect layer of comedic relief to the show. And I was looking it up, and so if anybody has, you can watch Fina on Hulu with live TV. I was looking. It doesn't look like Hulu does it. It doesn't look like they have it on demand, at least as of now. So Hulu doesn't through their Adult Swim network library. So I mean, maybe it will open up soon, as far as if you want to catch it on demand. So just kind of in case anybody out there is trying to figure it out.
Right on. Well, anything else about ourselves, Foundation? Anything else to share before we start moving on to like what's happening and what's in the news?
No, not that I can think of.
Does your chest hair have anything to say?
Mine certainly does.
I feel left out, guys. I feel left out here.
Well,
It's
I also don't grow chest hair.
You
so
know,
maybe
I
that's also
honestly-
it's a hot girl summer.
before I
you know?
sat
Ooh.
down, I was going to do that, and then I was like, I just look stupid. And it's like, whatever.
Hey,
I
let it
got-
fly. You
whatever.
lumberjack.
It goes with my beard,
Yeah, I mean,
The ladies
before
love
Jeff,
Ladies love it.
before Riggs even mentioned, besides your chest hair, I was gonna add, besides looking so damn handsome, Foundation. Do you have anything else to add? But Jeff kind of swept it. Riggs kind of swept that away with talking about your chest hair.
It's okay. He's
Comes
just
from a place of
envious.
jealousy. That's right.
Yep, exactly.
Don't be jealous, Riggs, that you can't grow chest hair. It's a blessing in disguise.
Once you grow up, maybe.
If you ever did kung fu, you would never have to deal with the pain of someone gripping a shirt and ripping
Ooh,
chest hair out of you. Think about that.
got it.
Blessings in
Blessings.
disguise.
That's right.
All right, well, let's move on to news. First in topic, we are going to talk about just a little small thing. I thought this was kind of fun. We're going to talk about Sonic. Last what was it, Saturday? I think it was last Tuesday even. Idris Elba sent out a tweet teasing that he was going to voice cast Knuckles in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Obviously, like an American production, but I feel like it fits. Sonic as a Japanese character in a Japanese video game. And then it was later confirmed this Saturday that Idris Elba is in fact actually going to be the voice actor of Knuckles in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I thought that was a fun little tidbit.
Yeah.
I think Idris Elba is really great. I thought he did a really good job in the latest Suicide Squad. So that was kind of fun news.
And he was oh god, what was this character's name in that Suicide Squad? I can't think of it.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Yes. Yeah.
Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I suppose moving forward, getting into more other anime news when it comes to proprietaryism, Crunchyroll confirms VRV as a part of Sony following acquisition. Uh, Crunchyroll confirmed with ANN on Friday that since Elation's VRV bundle streaming service is a Crunchyroll brand, VRV is also part of Sony's following Sony's Funimation Global Group's acquisition of Crunchyroll for AT&T. Sony Pictures Entertainment and AT&T announced on Monday that Sony's Funimation Global Group had completed its acquisition of Crunchyroll. The purchase price was US $1.175 billion.
Good lord.
And the proceeds were paid in cash at closing. Imagine someone coming into a closing deal with $1.175 billion in cash.
I mean, what does that even look like?
Like probably a few a few 16-footers full of bills. Like,
It'd be awesome if it was all ones. Just all
Oh,
ones. Just here you go.
Make it rain.
Here you go, AT&T. You guys suck.
Right. So the announcement did not reveal how or if the individual streaming platforms would merge or plans for subscription costs for users. But further, Crunchyroll and Funimation first announced the acquisition in December of 2020. That is when I first found out that Sony was acquiring Crunchyroll, and I felt like this was something that was going to be inevitable. But with a purchase price of $1.75 billion, the technology website, the information reported in August 2020 that AT&T offered Crunchyroll to Sony for $1.5 billion, and that Sony reported balked at. So they were gawking at the price. So Sony talked him down from 1.5 billion to 1.175, which effectively values the streaming service at US $500 per subscriber. Entertainment news sources Variety reported that AT&T was shopping the company to multiple potential buyers aside from Sony Pictures Entertainment at the time. What is this? Nikkei Asia later reported that October that Sony was in final negotiations for the Crunchyroll acquisition. At the time, the newspaper reported that Sony could end up spending more than 100 billion yen, $957 million, which, I mean, apparently they did. So as far as it goes for VRV is a subscription bundle that includes anime streaming services, Crunchyroll, as well as several other streaming services, including Cartoon Hangover, Rooster Teeth, and Mondo. The service used to include Funimation until November of 2018, following an announcement that Crunchyroll and Funimation Entertainment would end their partnership to share content. VRV added the High Dive streaming services content in November of 2018. So in this acquisition and news, what I get out of this is Sony now owns Crunchyroll. They acquired VRV. So that means that we could lose Cartoon Hangover, Rooster Teeth, Mondo, and High Dive unless they get into a licensing agreement of some sort. Otherwise, they're just going to be fell short, and then Sony is going to do whatever they want with VRV.
Yeah, well, it's all right. So it's all contractual, right? So VRV is a product of Crunchyroll, right? So Crunchyroll owns. I don't know how to. I guess technically owns. Yeah, because Crunchyroll is no longer like its own company. So, yeah, I mean, so they own VRV, and so VRV was kind of this common place where you had to pay a little bit more. So I have VRV, so I pay more than what a Crunchyroll subscription is, but not only do I get access to the Crunchyroll content, but I get access to all these other things. And so I think this is very interesting on a couple of notes. One of the few last lines there is it says that Funimation made the announcement that them and Crunchyroll were no longer would end their partnership to share content, and then 2 years later they buy them. So it's like
Funimation buys Crunchyroll.
So
it's an assimilation. Like, I mean,
right.
there was another excerpt that I had seen about this, meaning that it's just gonna. I mean, in the assimilation, it's just gonna more like streamline and like draw everything together, so it will be easier in a sense. But it also like at the same time, I feel like it limits certain licensing streaming services because VRV's whole thing was to like bring content together between other channels.
Right.
Like it was a medium.
Right. And now, so that's where it's interesting, right? So VRV has a contract with Cartoon Hangover, Rooster Teeth, Mondo, High Dive, and so it's like, how long is that contract? And are they allowed to leave that contract now that they've been sold?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that in acquisition.
So,
like if that rolls over,
right? So these companies might be stuck with, working with Fun and Sony, which may not be a bad thing for them. They're stuck in, if they're stuck in a contract, they're stuck in their contract, so they're not going to lose money. Maybe the execs will have something to say as far as the content they're putting out, but I have a hard time believing Sony's really is going to care that much. I mean, and now Ketsu, we talked about this last week, and so I guess what are your initial thoughts? I mean, Foundation and I kind of talked about this, and so I would be interested to kind of see, and I would like to keep our audience up to date on this, because I think this is a pretty big deal between Crunchyroll and Funimation. I mean, we're talking the two leading providers of anime content, streaming wise, and now they're combining into one. And so obviously there are others, High Dive, it's a good example. But yeah, I mean, this is Sony is more or less monopolizing on anime streaming. And I guess what's your opinion? What's your take on the whole acquisition as a whole? Kind of, what's your thoughts?
Are you asking me?
No, Ketsu.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I kind of agree with you. As much as they're like selling it as it's going to be a streamline and make things easier, it also gives them the ability to then adjust and kind of control how much we're going to be paying for a subscription under like the house. So yeah, sure. It's going to be Funimation and Crunchyroll, so they'll probably do like bundle packaging where you can have one without the other, or both under certain circumstances or pricing, which is interesting because I mean, like, I technically have one or two accounts, or like one of both. I mean, regardless of sharing and how that ever works. So I think it's cool in the sense that they're gonna like allow all of the rights and like streaming services for like all these shows to be in one place. So you'll have all the content on Funimation that you couldn't get on Crunchyroll and vice versa. But that comes at the expense of like your subscription might go up from this much a month to that much a month. Like I'm not sure what it is now for Crunchyroll, but I see that, if that were to happen, like my subscription for Crunchyroll itself could increase. And then that comes at the cost of Sony, like you said, monopolizing streaming servicing. So then that means they're going to be the only ones doing it. It's going to be a proprietary deal, and they're going to be the ones who set the boundaries and rules. And if we want to stream anime, that's just what we're going to have to follow. And it could be good, it could be bad. It's just something that we're going to have to wait and see how things go. And that's like a good reason, like you mentioned, to keep our followers, viewers, and listeners updated as that kind of moves forward. But I digress. Foundation, how do you see and feel this position?
I mean, apart from obviously it kind of creates a monopoly in a way, as Briggs had mentioned and as you had mentioned. I don't ever think that's a good thing because, I mean, one, pricing on streaming services is always, the more streaming services, the more, the lower the price generally is. But there is still High Dive, like you said, and maybe a couple others. But then I also kind of worry about just like the sort of control that is put onto, and this is where I don't really have a lot of knowledge. It's like, are these anime, would they be essentially made by Sony at that point, or no?
Well, I would say that Sony just owns the rights to stream content,
Yeah, but they don't really
it
have.
also opens. It will open Sony's, because Sony already has like Sony Animation Studios. It will open them to then produce Crunchyroll originals through their Sony Animation Studio, and it could be titled in one of those, such as like Sony Animation Studios and Crunchyroll original production kind of thing. So it kind of I guess it does kind of acquire that, because then it whoever the studios who were doing these other Crunchyroll originals that got those deals that did like Tower of God and even this Fina Pirate Princess, maybe that could affect those studios from having an opportunity to do Crunchyroll originals under certain circumstances that wouldn't, be outwardly costly to like.
It probably would affect it, and that's
well, I imagine it too. Sure,
is like it'll strangle maybe some more slightly smaller shops that make these, these anime, and then it's like you wouldn't have as much sort of
diversity in
what you are offered, essentially. And then I don't know. I mean, there's a whole lot of, sometimes with huge companies like that, there's a lot of politics that come into play with what they're offering as well. But who knows? I don't know. Maybe it'll be good maybe it'll just like spark just a lot more excitement with anime in general, because I'm sure that Sony will market the shit out of it. So yeah, maybe even could get more mainstream than what it already is.
Yeah, I suppose it could go one of many which ways, which is draws back to like, this is just a topic that will kind of keep up with, especially since we're we're a cast of talking about anime itself and like where you can source and stream those kinds of things. So we'll keep viewers updated on all that. But
yeah, I just wanted to toss some numbers out here. So Crunchyroll, $10 a month for the standard plan to 4 devices, which I would imagine most people do. That like they do have access. One. Yeah, they do have one that's $8 a month. But you only get on one device at a time. So if it's comparable to like the Funimation one, that would be, so if we're comparing apples across the board, we're looking at Funimation at Crunchyroll at $10 a month, which is $120 a year, or Funimation, who's sitting at $60 a year. So Crunchyroll surprisingly is more expensive than Funimation is.
Yeah.
At $120, but I also thought this was interesting. So $120 a year, we're paying. I don't have a Crunchyroll account, but if you're paying $120 a year for Crunchyroll, and Sony scoffed at valuing their customers at $550. According to that article, the original number, that 1.5, was counting all of Crunchyroll's customers at $550 a piece. So, or $500 per customer.
$500 US, yeah.
So that's not even 4 years, or that's just over 4 years of a subscription. I've had my Funimation account for a long time.
I mean, I've had my Crunchyroll subscription for I want to say 7 or 8 years. And when I started, I remember my premium subscription, which I think allowed up to what you said 4 devices, and it ran. I think it was $5.95 a month. So it started at $6, and then through till today, and now I think I pay $10 a month.
Yeah, I've been
But it
charged.
started at 6, and now it's at 10 over the course of 7 years.
Yeah,
that
I've been
comes with
charged
obviously inflation
$60
and
a
stuff,
year
but-
for the last 5 years.
And that's so.
From
So that's
Funimation.
been stagnant. That's like
Yeah.
across the board. Like mine has been rising. Like my
Yeah.
price
So
has
and
been
mine
rising.
says legacy. So that's very interesting. And I made this point to Foundation.
You got grandfathered in or something.
And that, you don't see that. I mean, Netflix doesn't do that. Netflix jacks your rate up all the time. You know, and what you're saying is Crunchyroll's doing that. Crunchyroll's jacking people's prices up. So
Yeah, no,
part of
it
me
goes up.
wonders.
It goes up every single way, and it makes. Yeah, you know. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Briggs.
Yeah, no, part of me wonders
apologize.
if Funimation is all of a sudden going to start doing this. Like, I can't believe I'm getting away with getting through this legacy pricing. And
I mean, or they're gonna like stagnate it, and it's just gonna be like flat, like what Funimation's doing, because Funimation acquired Crunchyroll, so they're gonna like stop doing, you know, the American inflation rate system where it's like,
right.
no, Funimation's been $6 a month across the board forever. And we're going to take Crunchyroll, acquire the rights to all their streaming services, or all the streaming content, and then kind of do the same. But even if they cap it at 10, so in 5 years, you're still only paying $10 a month.
Right.
Instead of like, in 5 years, I could imagine spending $14 to $15 a month. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
just thought it was very interesting, though, you know, that they scoffed at the idea of Crunchyroll valuing their customers at $500 per customer. And I mean, as I said, I mean, I guess you'd have to see what their average length of all their members are, but 4
Right.
years, that seems low for people
Yeah.
who are anime watchers. I would imagine once you find your streaming service, you're there and you're in.
I mean, that's when I found Crunchyroll. I was like, I'm in. I'm never leaving, and I still haven't left. Like,
And so
that's
you
the
would
way it
think
is.
they would value them more, right? Because when you go to buy a business, you're not buying just the clients they have. You're buying the prospective future that the profits that those customers. And so it just seems that, you know, Sony kind of rolled AT&T, but another article that we had read made it sound that AT&T is trying to get out of the streaming business. So they are trying to get, I think they were looking to get rid of Crunchyroll and all of their streaming web pages. So, yeah, so I just wanted to toss some numbers out there and kind of get people's feels on that. But I do think my ending thought on this is I got a theory that that what they're gonna do is segregate dubbed and subbed, and I think what Sony might do is everything subbed is on Crunchyroll, everything dubbed is over on Funimation, and they're just gonna whatever you want to pay for, you go to your market. So that's my
Looks
theory.
like something's happening with your colors there.
It's
Ketsu.
green.
yeah, that's super interesting because this never actually happens. Through
That's right.
through
I don't mind a green
serialized-
Ketsu.
through serialized testing. There's no reason this should ever happen on my camera. And come on, baby.
Well, we can get.
All right, I'm back, but it's dark, which makes
That's
no
all right.
sense. But either way, moving forward, we're gonna go into the two features of the evening when it comes to news. A little fun, just kind of talks. The first is pretty light, pretty just kind of funny. little piece of news here that I thought that we should all talk about because I think it's hilarious. I'll pull up the share screen here. The unimaginable terror of running out of One Piece episodes. Dear God, I couldn't even imagine. I thought this was funny when I just saw the title. I was like, "Oh, we got to talk about this with amongst ourselves and an audience. Hopefully, they understand what's really going on with the show." There's over 1,000 episodes, and I personally couldn't imagine even trying to endure that and then get upset about it. But it seems that we're at a stagnant point where they are still writing manga and they're still trying to animate things episode week by week. Let's see. Let's see at the starting. I thought it couldn't happen, or at least it would never happen to me. It can take me actual years to finish just one season show. Never mind one that's being aired for decades. I thought I'd be riding this train for years to come, chugging along at a perfectly sustainable pace, perpetually comforted by the vastness of the path before me. I thought this would be a relationship to nurture slowly, and that even if I was reckless in my watch speed, the mountain before me could bear the strain. Well, Nick Creamer, I'm sorry you've met your fate. I certainly will never be able to relate to this dude or what he's talking about. Not that I'm not a fan of One Piece, but it just doesn't make sense for something that's been airing for like almost 2 decades and has over 1,000 episodes.
My gosh.
I mean, I imagine like if I tried to start watching this now, what would happen? What could possibly happen?
I mean, did these characters age or no?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, slightly in canon, yeah. I mean, I think over the course of a few years and like things obviously happened.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's still like I think the projection of the story was to find like this devil fruit and figure out what's going on as to why people are acquiring such abilities from such things. And this dude's really upset that he like has come to the end.
I will
of
say
1,000 episodes of television, and I want you guys to just talk about this grievance. Like, I'm not going to sit and like read this whole thing. Why I wanted to bring this up is I think it's hilarious that someone had enough time to watch 1,000 episodes of a show and is now upset because he, at the end of the day, has to wait because it's done for him, and he's going to have to wait till he can watch it week by week.
You mind if I chime in here and give you a little explanation as to why he's upset?
I would love it.
Okay.
Please, by all means. While I
when
do
it comes
technical-
to anime or anime that you enjoy watching, really, I think for a lot of people, it's like escapism from the current reality that they're in, which probably isn't a good reality. So, for those few moments that they're watching that anime in that given day, it lets them forget about the pressures of daily life. And I think it's not really that this guy wants to watch more episodes. It's more that he doesn't want to deal with his own life. And that's why making your anime more diverse, like going from anime to anime, call it anime chain smoking, if you will, lets you not run into that whole situation. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, I love myself some anime chain smoking. I'd be smoking a pack of Marlboros a day of these animes. With that being said, though, I think there's a couple of different ways you can look at this. I think we're all maybe looking at it a different way, right? So I do also think it's comical that he's talking about One Piece, but I don't think that he could maybe get this point across if he was talking about any other anime. Because I think really what sums up his article is the last 3 lines of this article, which is, One Piece felt infinite until it suddenly wasn't. And now my every waking moment is shrouded by the knowledge of its end. Treasure the anime you love, folks. Every great story ends before you're ready for it. I think that is the core of what this article is really trying to portray to people. It is, yes, comical that he's talking about One Piece, because One Piece is just crazy long. I mean, if you got the time of day to be watching this, hey, kudos to you. I can't do it. I hate filler episodes. You know, there's a couple of good animes out there that I bite my teeth through those filler episodes just to get through it. I just couldn't do it. I got a few hundred episodes into One Piece. I just couldn't handle it anymore. I just was like, I just can't. It just reminds me of Dragon Ball Z, and it just drives me insane. Like, and Dragon Ball Z didn't even have filler episodes. It was just everything was spaced out to an eternity long. So this is, as I said, this has got a lot more of those filler episodes, but yeah, I think it's to that point of like you kind of watch an anime and then it ends and you're like, oh God, I wish there was more. Like, I don't want to watch this next episode because it's the last episode.
Yeah,
Like,
you get into the characters. You
know,
feel
it's like reading your favorite, you know, coming to the final chapter of your favorite book, or you know, you're in the final leg of your favorite video game. You know, it's just, you know, everything is going to come to an end. You know, your team is racking up the score in whatever sport, and it's the last inning or the last 5 minutes or the last quarter. You know, I think it's just that point where everything's got to come to an end. And for him, it's One Piece. For me, I'm going to dread the day that Overlord comes to an end. And, you know, I think we all have this few of those animes. It's like, oh God, when it ends, I just don't even want to think about it. And luckily I don't have to, because Overlord is seasons off from ending. But I do have to grip with that reality of the end is nigh. But any additional thoughts, Foundation? Rebuttal?
No, I mean, it's not exactly, but you know, you made a good point. And it's just like everybody hates seeing. It's like losing friends in a way. It's like what the heck is going on here? Are you still there, sir? Katsu?
I'm trying to be. Apparently, there's connective issues that are not allowing my camera to function.
Yeah, but no, like an anime that's like 1,000 episodes long. I mean, a reasonably insane person could probably get through that in like a year. You know, like I remember watching Next Generation, the Star Trek Next Generation, which isn't anime, obviously. It could be, but that series is super frigging long. I think it aired for like 10 years or something, or 8 years, but that took me a long time to get through, probably like 3 months. But I mean, each episode of that is, you know, an hour or 55 minutes or something. So yeah, but every good story is hard to put down. I even sometimes, you know, with Audible, like I've listened to several books several times. So, you know, you can always relive and re-listen to or rewatch a story. And, you know, at certain parts of your life, you know, you connect more with the story, or you connect less, or you think some things are funny because you have more life experience. And I think that's, you know, this guy might, you know, pick One Piece back up in 10 years from now and be like, appreciate it more, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, to your point, right? So if you do have a good rotation, or you're always out there looking for something new,
Yeah.
you never have to be too concerned, because then you could put something like this away, and then you can put something like this away and let those episodes build up again,
Yep.
and while you're watching something else. So
Yep. Yeah. But then there's some anime that are just done forever, like Trigun, you know.
done forever.
Yeah.
But then you get that Diamond into the Rough OVA movie, Trigun Badlands. It just
Which I still haven't watched yet.
brings
haven't
you
watched
right
that.
back, and that's why you're not a true fan. But it brings you back.
How dare. Speaking of movies, I did watch the My Hero Academia movie just recently.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. But we're not
That's
talking
back.
about My Hero Academia. Katsu Yakamoto is there. I see a screen.
Can you hear me?
I
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay.
I cannot see you.
No, apparently.
That's okay. That's
Not
okay.
see you.
Mm.
Okay. So anyway,
So Katsula, well, we can move on, since we can hear you still.
we're all plotting against you, Katsu.
This is collusion. I don't know what
Alright.
the technical difficulties are. I very much apologize, gentlemen. I feel terrible about this.
I think
That's
it's your network signal.
No, that's the camera. 100%.
All right, fine.
I don't know how it can be. It's never been an issue.
Somebody's hacked into your signal.
Mm.
Somebody's hacked your ghost.
My ghost is hacked.
By the Puppet
Yeah.
Master.
My shell's been hacked. My ghost is compromised.
Are your memories your own?
I don't know anymore.
How can you know? I mean,
Well, with all due respect, in such then, Foundation or Riggs, would you do me the kindness of preparing next screen and kind of taking over video for our final feature, our last short presentation.
Why don't you bring it on? Why don't you bring it on there?
Hold on, I guess I can.
Do a screen share.
the foundation.
Found it. Whatever. I got to put the in front of your name.
I guess I can do it here.
Oh.
Let's see.
You
I
can do it,
realize.
man.
Oh, that's
I
true.
just all I have to do is hit the switch on it.
I just feel terrible. I wish I wasn't having camera difficulties here.
That's all right. You're just allowing the ladies to look at someone else for once. That's fine. We appreciate it.
Oh man, you know what? Yeah, you two deserve it.
You're a giver. You're a giver.
I'm a real caring nurturer. All right, but in that sense, we can move on to the next feature. And just on the end note, yeah, I totally understand the sympathies of like not wanting a show to end. One Piece is that one show that won't ever end, and I just think it's funny, like, not to dog on anybody. I really respect somebody's love for something, but it's just, I thought it was comical because there's over 1,000 episodes, and I couldn't imagine how, like, just with the scheduling, how long it would take me to catch up to that many episodes. But I mean, good on him, mate.
Yeah, right. Oh. We're losing him.
All right, Katsu Yakamoto, you've been demoted. All right, so let's. What's this last situation here that we're going to talk about? I do not have it queued up. I will find it here.
It's in the Discord chat.
Yes, I am going there. Is it the Unimaginable Terror? Oh no, that's what we were just talking. Japanese Myths. That one?
You got it.
No, this was going to be Ketsu's.
Yeah, big feature.
Big feature. Okay. I think he's shutting down and coming back on. Momento, por favor. Yep.
Oh, well, we could talk about the movie we're gonna do on Thursday.
Oh
Paprika?
yeah. Paprika, yeah. So I have not watched it yet. Pam, it's a cooking thing, right?
I mean, paprika is a spice. Yes. The anime
But
is
it's
nothing
not
to do
about cooking. Oh, well, that's kind of bizarre.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
don't
what to
know.
think.
You're just
I don't-
your perceptions are now just blown away. You just don't.
Yeah,
even-
I was getting all ready for it with watching Food Wars,
Oh,
getting
okay.
into this food
Okay.
anime stuff, but I guess I'll have to take a detour and watch Paprika.
You ever
Um,
watch Bento?
No, that's a sushi thing, though, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
Bento's lunch. It's box
Oh.
lunch. It's
Oh, is that what that
Bento.
stands? Okay,
yes.
I don't speak the Japanese, so
We
Yeah.
know.
I mean, have you
difficulty
heard
you
how I
have with their
butchered
names.
some of these Japanese names? It's like, yeah. So, Ketsu, did he get upset that I said he was demoted?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
What did you want to talk about the movie for?
Well, I was just make sure that we announced it to everyone so they would.
Oh yeah. So if anybody's listening, which there's probably not anybody right now listening, but Paprika is what we're going to be talking about on our Thursday movie review. Did you have any? I think whose turn is it next to pick the movie?
Mine.
Yours. What are you
Mhm.
gonna choose?
We are gonna watch Escaflowne, the movie.
Oh, gosh. I'm pretty sure you made me watch that about 12 years ago. It's okay though. I'll watch it again. Maybe I'll appreciate it this time. I'm surprised he's not back
I'm
yet.
surprised you don't feel like you were into it.
Back then, it's a mech suit type thing, right?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more to it, but yes, there are some dudes who go around in mech suits. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, you know, obviously 12 years ago was a long time ago, and that was we watched it when we were living in the same residence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably had a really bad hangover. That's probably why.
And
I
have lived with both you schmucks.
Oh, really? You lived with Ketsu?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Did he call you?
Yeah, he's trying to get his Discord working here.
Okay.
Apparently his upload speed's 10, which might be a little low.
Mine isn't much above 10.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi,
I mean, I got 20.
but I am on an Alienware computer, so that makes a difference.
No, it doesn't.
You know, it seems like
You're-
if I'm on one of my old machines on Wi-Fi, it's like the signal strength is not as high or something. I don't know. You're Mr. Network Router guy,
Okay,
so
yes, that may be the case because your newer machine has a newer network card.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't mean though that you get a higher upload speed.
Oh, well,
Like-
no, yeah, I could see that.
Like your
Right.
upload speed would be capped, and that's generally you get that from your provider. So like I am at like 20, ish, and it usually fluctuates somewhere between 20 and 23.
I'm telling you, somebody hacked his ghost.
And then, but at my old home, I had a fiber line come into the house, and I had 100 up. I was never having no problems with nothing.
Wow.
But I mean, upload speed is a pretty big deal because that's what we're doing now, right? So we're putting our image, so your video and audio out into the internet. So that would be your upload speed.
Yeah.
But I mean, 10 should be able to get the job done. You know, improving it would be better, but that's all by your provider.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this actually used to be Ketsu's room,
Oh, interesting.
and then he moved out, and I made it my office.
Oh, so he lived with you at your new residence?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yep.
interesting.
He was there for a little bit, right when we got Berkey. You can see her right there, right there, right there.
Is that a dog or a cat?
Pick her nose. Pick her nose. It's a dog.
It's
It's laying in the chair. I don't know why she's comfortable like that, but. What else we got to say?
I can try and call Ketsu on.
I think he's having all sorts of because I'm not getting him on Discord either.
Okay.
So
Well, we could wait.
can you?
This was his deal, you know.
on
with
the phone?
whole- I mean, we could
Can you
call
put
him.
a phone number in? Can you like invite
Oh,
via phone?
maybe. Let's see. Hmm. No.
No. Okay.
I mean, one of us could call him.
Yeah, but you can't pull it up on the thing, so you'd have to sit here with the phone like that. You know what I mean?
I could put him on speakerphone.
Do it then. What do you want from me?
I don't know. I mean, I don't have his phone number. You do.
Yes, you do. We're all in the same text. We're all in the same text group.
Are we? Okay, let me check.
But now your video's not moving.
It's not?
Is my video moving?
Yes.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Interesting.
Our world is collapsing. It's the apocalypse. It's Y2K.
Yeah, an apocalypse. Can you see this?
Yeah. Oh, now
Okay,
you're moving again.
Okay.
Yeah, now you're moving.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just finish this off, and
Well,
I'll
we can do this next week. I mean, we're at
Okay.
an hour.
Yeah, we are. Well, we're at an hour. This is
Jibber
his thing
jabber.
too.
We'll
So
push this off to next week. This news ain't going nowhere.
sounds good, sir. All right. Well, yeah, I'll bring us out here. Any final thoughts, Riggs?
No, I mean, you know, we hit up the what we're doing for Thursday, the Paprika, and I think we got some strong recommendations out there for animes, 86 and
Food Wars.
To Your Eternity, Food Wars, kind of hitting all the spectrum. We got a couple of feelers, one mental, mind bender. Food Wars is just a good watch.
Yeah. A little drama, a little comedy.
Action though, I don't know, man. Have you been watching anything actiony? I guess My
yeah.
Hero Academia, maybe.
Yeah, My Hero Academia, and then the movie that I watched.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like I've been watching Bleach again, but
Dude,
I mean
that's
just got
so
a lot of
funny. I
fillers.
turned on Bleach literally last night just to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
And I woke up to that creepy, like it was the third episode or something. It was like Oda Hime's brother, and
Yeah.
he just looks like a creeper. He's like, out of here, man. You don't remember me. Like, how dare you not remember me? I look like the brother you always. Anyway, he didn't really have an English accent either.
Doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. But no, it was just kind of funny waking up to that scene in particular. Yeah, but no, that's a good. Bleach is always a good. We'll have to cover. We'll talk about Bleach next. Maybe we'll talk about Bleach next time.
Yeah.
Just like what our thoughts are on it and stuff. And I'm sure Ketsu has some.
I don't know if you ever watched Bleach.
Really?
No. I mean, he's not really into I would say, a marathon anime. Like, he likes his series, maybe 1-2 seasons, I'd probably say he's like a 30 episode cap kind of guy. I mean, I could be wrong. We could maybe that's something we could talk about next week, or even Thursday. But yeah, I don't think a lot of the animes he watches and that he's into aren't. I mean, other than Food Wars, I feel like Food Wars is the exception. He has not been. I don't think he's really watched any long-term animes.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Well, watch Paprika if you're watching this, and we'll talk about that next time. And all right. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great night.